Yes. This is the regular meeting of the Mobile City Council, Tuesday, February the 10th. Please stand for our invocation led by Pastor Tony Laguerre, Public Safety Chaplain, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance led by St. Dominic's third graders.
I always like to bring you greetings from the Mobile Police Department, strong and resolute. What a privilege to serve you here today. Let's pray together. Our Father, we thank you for a new morning you've given to us, and we accept readily the privilege to steward the day. We're mindful of your scripture that says, whatever you do, do it heartily, as unto the Lord, and not as unto man. But Father, we see also what we do unto you, man, benefits. So I pray your hand upon our mayoral administration today and our city council as they give leadership and counsel to this city. I pray you favor us with your mind and wisdom, and we'll honor you. In Jesus' name we pray today. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America,
to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The one time I actually lead in the pledge, I'm too early. Come on, kids.
Let's get your chairs to the back. Let the mayor get in here.
Stop.
All right, stop. All stars, basketball girls.
Yes. Come this way. A little more. Okay. All right.
Good job. Beautiful.
Okay.
Mr. President, I just want to say thank you to the parents that are here supporting the St. Dominic trip. And I want to say a special thanks to my daughter. She's going to be embarrassed. Pippa Reynolds, wave your hand, Pippa. Thank y'all for coming. Glad y'all learned something today.
Roll call, President Small.
Here.
Vice President Gregory.
Here.
Councilmember Penn.
Here.
Councilmember Ingram.
Here.
Councilmember Reynolds.
Here.
Councilmember Fleming.
Here.
Councilmember Woods.
Here.
Statement of rules.
And good morning, everyone.
Morning.
It's good to see everyone this morning. Mardi Gras week, Valentine's week. Mobile, we're born to celebrate. Welcome to our February 10th, 2026 meeting. At this meeting, we do have rules. At this time, I ask if anyone have any type of electronic device, including cell phones, please at this time put on the off for the vibrator position, the off of the vibrator position. Any person that desires to speak or address to the Mobile City Council must sign in the resolution, ordinance, or public hearing agenda item before entering the meeting. When addressing the council, the speaker must give his or her name. Any person that desires to speak to the council on a non-agenda item must contact the city clerk office no later than 2:00 p.m. the Thursday prior to the council meeting. The subject that he or she wishes to express to the Mobile City Council must be identified and pertain to the city of Mobile business. Anyone who has not given proper notice to the city clerk office and wishes to speak on a non-agenda item will not be allowed to address this council. Each speaker is allowed 3 minutes to address this council. A bell will sound to indicate the end of 2 minutes. 1 minute remains for summarizing. Second bell indicates that your time has expired. When addressing the council, there will be no personal address to any individual council members. All statements will be made to the chair, and we'll recognize any council member who wishes to respond. To maintain decorum, there will be no undue applause or public outcry allowed. Madam Clerk.
Approval of minutes of February 3rd.
So move. Second.
Properly moving second, ending the discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Minutes approved.
Communications from Mayor Chirigatis.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
And happy Mardi Gras. We're wearing our Mardi Gras colors today. And on Friday, we're going to be welcoming the USS Farragut to Mobile. For more than 100 years, we've welcomed a Navy ship to the port for our Mardi Gras, bringing hundreds of excited U.S. sailors to the birthplace of Mardi Gras. So I invite everyone, all Mobilians, to join us at 11 a.m. this Friday for a welcoming reception. It'll be at Pier 2, right there next to the convention center. Hope to see you there. We'll have JROTC students, trail maids, shipmates, and a second line band. It'll truly be a proper celebration. So I want to thank the Mobile Navy League and the port for helping us continue this great tradition. The USS Farragut will be open for free public tours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Starting on Saturday, the day after their arrival, all the way through Fat Tuesday. If you see one of these sailors out during Deep Gras, make them feel welcome and thank them for their service to our country. I've also been asked to talk a little bit about my first 100 days in office. Before I do that, I do want to thank the councilman, Ben Reynolds, for exercising every father's right, which is to embarrass their child in public. I personally enjoy that thoroughly as well, so I wanted to throw that in there. But, you know, during these first 100 days in office, which tomorrow will mark the 100th day, I want to talk about some of the things that have happened over the last 100 days, both as mayor and serving alongside this city council. I want to take a moment to recognize some of the things we've accomplished, primarily in public safety. It's always going to be our top priority, but just last week we added 20 new officers to our roles, and by June we expect to be fully staffed at the Mobile Police Department. We're going to continue to focus on downtown safety. I hope that you've frankly not seen anything in the news as we've had our New Year's Eve celebration, as we continue to celebrate Mardi Gras. I'm personally praying for the safest Mardi Gras of all time. And I believe the members of the council will join me in that, and so far, so good. We're going to continue to invest in better technology. Just recently, I've had two demonstrations as it relates to drones when we have large crowds, trying to make sure our citizens are safe, even in large crowds. We've just added a mobile command unit to our team that'll help us gather intelligence and deal with very difficult circumstances like we have had recently. We're going to continue to work on public safety through our Safer Communities Task Force. So not just to address crime that has happened, but hopefully to prevent crime before it occurs. At Animal Services, we're at about 50% design for our new shelter, hoping to complete that designs a little later this year. And in the meantime, in the interest of our furry neighbors, we've added some fencing to the current animal shelter that's allowed our animals to be outside, enjoying the sunshine, running around, playing with one another in a way that they just had not been able to prior to that. I'm very thankful to ARF for their funding that made that possible, but that was one of the first things I did as mayor, was to make sure that that project was allowed to go forward. We continue to work with the council to modernize our city's animal ordinances. We've heard many people here talking about some of the animal issues, and that's something that this council, and I can promise you this mayor, is committed to seeing happen. We were able to complete some major road projects. When you look at Highway 45 and McGregor Avenue, both of those were, some would say, a long time coming. And we were thankful to put a bow on those and have those roadways redone, resurfaced, and ready to go. And we continue to move forward on other major projects. When you look at the St. Louis corridor, the Mobile Arena continues to grow. If you haven't seen, they're putting brick panels up on the outside. As of today, I think we have 5. The MLK Avenue project, we continue to do a complete streets project there. Very soon, we'll be kicking off Dolphin Street, reworking some of the entrances and exits to the businesses along that corridor. That's really going to give a great facelift to that corridor. Of course, in Councilwoman Gregory's district, Langen Lake, I continue to get comments about the progress that we are making at Langen Lake. It's beautifying that area, making it more useful, and reopening that water access to citizens. And we continue our progress on the Africatown Welcome Center, which we expect to be open this summer. We have some new major projects that we're working on. The access road to the Brookley by the Bay project is very soon to break ground. We continue to make progress with the waterfront boardwalk. We are putting the final touches on our reworking of Water Street in an application that we're doing through a build grant. We hope to see that awarded, but I can tell you it's something I'm committed to doing no matter what. I can't wait to release those images to the public. It's going to truly revolutionize citizens' access to our waterfront coming from downtown. And then at Michigan Avenue, we continue to make improvements there as Airbus and that Brookley footprint expand. We want to make sure that industry has the proper access to that area. Overall, our infrastructure improvements, we're spending $17 million in resurfacing dollars this year, over $5 million into stormwater, where we've created a new dedicated department to look at our stormwater drainage issues in our city. And we're also spending another $8 million to synchronize over 123 traffic signals in our city. Affordable housing and blight reduction continue to be a major priority for this administration and this council. We've finished many single-family and multifamily projects, and with many more moving forward. We've cut the ribbon on a few recently. We're breaking ground on others. Our vacant building registry will go into effect in June, but we've already taken emergency actions when necessary, as you've seen recently in the news, to secure unsecured, potentially dangerous buildings right here in the downtown. And then we are conducting our first residential blight study in our city, the first one since 2024. Transportation, if anybody's heard me talk, I've talked about trolleys probably way too much, and I understand that, but I want them. I think they're going to revolutionize our system. I think they will be fun to use, and I think they will be a great boon to our tourism industry. Via Transport has been an absolutely wonderful partner. They've allowed me to design my own routes, which I have 2 plans right now that I'm working on, but we are committed to revolutionizing public transportation in this city so that not only can people get to work, can people get the services and doctor appointments and grocery store visits that they need, but also that we create a system that's fun and usable for everybody, not just those who depend upon it. We want to serve them, but we want to serve every citizen in Mobile with this system. More to come on that, on updates on that very soon. Those are some of the things that we've done. We expect many more accomplishments over the next 4 years, thanks to the great relationship that I feel we have with our council. I can do nothing on my own, and if it weren't for the council, the citizens every single day, none of what I've read would be possible, and none of what we will accomplish in the future will be possible. So I thank the council. That's it. That was a lot, Jason. Thank you for putting all that in there. Now it is my joy to call on Marion McElroy to celebrate our Public Works Employee of the Month, Mr. Jackson Taylor.
Good morning. I'm Marion McElroy, Executive Director of Build Mobile. It is a pleasure to be here today to present Jackson Taylor with the Build Mobile Employee of the Month. Jackson has been with Planning and Zoning for 3 years and has consistently demonstrated professional and exceptional dedication. He has a genuine commitment to both the public and his colleagues. Jackson approaches every responsibility with an eagerness to learn. He routinely goes above and beyond his assigned duties, volunteering for special projects and additional responsibilities while continuing to meet his deadlines. One colleague said, "Jackson always arrives to work with a great can-do attitude, such that he's earned his nickname, Action Jackson, around the office." Jackson is patient and courteous, making every interaction with staff and the public pleasant and productive. Jackson listens carefully, communicates clearly, and seeks guidance when needed to ensure accuracy and efficiency. Jackson is a valued member of Build Mobile, an asset to the city of Mobile, and a well-deserving Employee of the Month. So I'd like to thank his family for coming down here today. Please join me in congratulating Jackson Taylor. Here.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Good to see everyone here. I just wanted to say thank you to my family. Thank you to my colleagues for helping me to develop into the planner I am today. Born and raised in Mobile, lived here my whole life, so I'm very thankful to be able to give back to the community that has helped me blossom into the adult I am today. So thank you very much, very honored.
Congratulations again. Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you. Nothing further from the mayor.
Adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moving second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Agenda's adopted.
Appeals, we have requests for waive the noise ordinance on February the 15th, Rickaby Place. February 16th, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. February 22nd in Mardi Gras Park, and June the 13th in Langen Park.
So moved. Second.
Properly moving second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Appeal passes.
Public hearings. Today is the public hearing to consider the modification of a previously approved planned unit development for property located at 1800 Dolphin Island Parkway.
This opened up the public hearing for this particular said item. Is anyone present that would like to address the council on this item? If not, this particular public hearing is closed.
Today is a public hearing to consider the modification of a previously approved planning approval for property located at 4568 Halls Mill Road.
This opened the public hearing for this particular said item. Is anyone present that would like to address the council on this item? If not, this particular public hearing is closed.
Today is a public hearing to consider the modification of a previously approved planned unit development for property located at 4568 Halls Mill Road.
This opened up the public hearing for this particular said item. Is anyone present that would like to address the council on this item? If not, this particular public hearing is closed.
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Cynthia Long.
Good morning. My name is Cynthia Long. I'm a resident of District 6. I'm here today because of the names Palago and Phoenix represent a failure in our city, but I'm not here to talk about feelings. I'm here to talk about accountability. In the professional world, we don't fix problems with warnings we have with no expiration date. We fix them with oversight. The current system is reactive. We need something proactive. I have provided you with a two-tier oversight model. Tier 1 is the internal oversight. Currently, a warning is often a dead end. This act mandates a 72-hour reinspection for every neglect citation. We must close the loop between the initial call and the final compliance. Tier 2 is the Prevention Shield. It's a public registry of individuals with final convictions of animal cruelty and empowers our local shelters, pet stores to stop the cycle before another animal is placed in dangerous home. Is this a state issue? No. Under the city's police powers, this council has the authority to regulate public safety and nuisance, which include animal control. Furthermore, the Zogby Act empowers you to investigate why our current department is failing to protect the public welfare. We have the authority to investigate. You have the authority to budget enforcement. We don't need permission from Montgomery to protect our own citizens. I have submitted a draft ordinance, and I'm asking for this proposal to be referred to the Public Safety Committee for immediate review. Thank you.
Any questions or comments from this council? All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Brooks Conkle.
I don't know if y'all allow selfies. I'm gonna take a selfie second. Y'all smile? You have it? Okay. You look great. Brooks Conkle is my name. Good morning, Brooks Conkle. I'm a local business owner in Mobile, and I'm also working with the Innovation Portal on a project called Unlock Alabama, where we're trying to keep entrepreneurs in our area and not have them disappear to the West Coast or other big cities. I'm here today with a goal. I want to share ideas. I'm not here to complain or like shake my fist. I just want to share ideas with you guys. And so I have one today. Just recently, I renewed my business license as a business owner. I'm a solopreneur. And so, you know, I got the letter. I don't think we do emails currently for business license. I think it's only letters, I think. But so immediate ideas, a way that we can improve is this is a very long URL that you have to manually type in. Like literally takes minutes. So what we could do is a QR code on here to forward to that URL, or you can just buy a domain name. So mobilealabamabusinesslicense.com is available, and then we could just forward it to that, so a person doesn't have to type all that. It's just a way to reduce friction. So if you can reduce friction, I think we can actually raise more money from especially solopreneurs and small business owners, because they're wearing a lot of hats, right? So if we can just make it easier for them. I also did some research on cities, and I found that Chattanooga, Tennessee, it's similar size to us. They actually have a program where if you're doing $100,000 or less in revenue, $3,000 to $100,000, it's a very simplistic business license, so you don't have to go through the regular process. It's kind of like a click and ship. It's just like, hey, you're doing $100,000 or less, you know. And I think we could potentially do that in Mobile, and I think we could bring in a lot of revenue for people that are, again, solopreneurs, work-at-home people. I don't have that data, like the data of how many of those business owners are there, but I'm sure it exists, and we can figure out what that is. I think people want to comply. If there's people that are out there that aren't doing their getting their business license. Is that a minute left?
Go ahead.
Okay. People that aren't getting their licenses, I think they want to comply. If we can just reduce the friction and make it easy for them. That's most of what I want to cover. The domain name would cost you $10 a year, and I think we can generate thousands of dollars of revenue from that. It'll save employee time. So as an added benefit, I think if we could like make that easier, we could have employees shift their focus on more valuable ideas. And I'm available to help or share ideas. I build software and AI stuff and stuff like that. So I'm happy to help. Connect with me if you want, you know, like further feedback. That's it. That's all I have. Just an idea.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming down, and I'm pretty sure the mayor heard you, and I'm pretty sure that he's probably going to investigate and look into it. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Denise Greer.
Okay, I'm Denise Greer, and I think I'm in District 1. I think it changed. I might be in District 2 now. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm a retired Mobile County public school teacher, and I'm also an animal advocate. And I'm here because of some inconsistencies in how the city departments use 311. I suspect that if I submitted a request for a pothole, that Public Works would come out, and it might take a few days. They got to get the equipment out there to dig up the street and do all the, infrastructure or
Greer,
whatever.
Can you
Can't
put
hear
the
me?
mic? Yeah, okay, that's good.
It's what? I'm sorry.
But a little bit closer to your mouth.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think if I put in a service request for a pothole, that it may take a few days, and they would keep the request open until they fixed it. Okay? That's not happening. Can you hear me better? That's not happening with animal control. I've put in some service requests that were almost immediately closed because I put in a request for a dog at large. Well, when they drive by the address, the dog is no longer there, of course. But they should keep looking for that dog because sometimes they go under the house, they roam around, but they come back. And it's important that you keep looking for the dog because it might end up a traffic hazard, or it could end up getting killed, shot in some of the neighborhoods that I service. For example, I put in service requests for 2 female dogs who were roaming at large, homeless, and because the officers did not see them and did not come back and keep looking for them, they ended up dying. One was shot, and one case was a case of neglect. So the animal control, they have an educational approach to things. They talk to the owners. They try to reason with them about taking better care of the dogs. It doesn't happen. That dog starved to death in her backyard. When I first saw her, she was dragging a cinder block down the street on a chain around her neck. And she was emaciated. And she could have been saved, but she died. I put in 3 requests on one little dog, and the officers never saw that little dog. He never moved from the spot that he was in. He was curled up in the corner of a porch. He had been abandoned there in Birdville. And they never saw that dog until I finally said, please get out of your trucks. So the page, the 311 page, has blocks for comments. You can keep that request open. You can have dialogue with the animal control people until the issue is resolved, or however you save the dog or pick it up or whatever. I think that's about it. Thank you.
Hey, could you respond to about the 311 request when someone called in about a dog?
Yes, sir.
Animal, excuse me.
Yes, sir. So on average, we respond to anywhere between 30 and 40 calls a day. And Ms. Greer is correct. So specifically, let's take a at-large call. The call just comes in as a dog running down the streets. We respond out to it. We'll patrol the area for anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. And if we're unable to locate that dog, that is correct. We close that call out and we say that we're unable to locate the dog. And if we get any follow-up calls after that, if someone sees the dog again and puts it back in, it generates a new call and we respond to it again. Now, with welfare calls, it's a little bit different situation. So we don't use 311 directly to track all of our cases. We have an internal case management system that tracks our welfare cases. So once a call comes to us from 311, it's immediately transferred over to our case management system. The problem with closing out 311 calls in these welfare cases is, I'm going to use her example, take a pothole, for example. Those are pretty straightforward fixes. They put in a request to the contractor comes out, repairs the pothole, and then they can close the case. Well, when it comes to animal welfare cases, you have multiple different types of what may be considered a case closed. That could be the situation was rectified by the owner. They fixed the situation. That could be a citation. But if we issue a citation, that's not really a case closure, right? It's got to go to court, which could take 3 to 4 months, and then that would represent a case closure. It could be an owner surrender where they get rid of the dog. My point is there's no clear way of determining what represents a case closure in 311 when it comes to a welfare case and what doesn't. So a call may be open for 12 hours or a call may be open for 8 months. depending on how long the court process takes to work through it. Now, I understand where the concern might be here, and I am committed to looking at a way to better improve the communications around those. But the real struggle is determining what represents a case closure. Because again, we could just say, well, we wrote a citation and now we got to wait on the court systems to disposition the case. And that would technically be a closure, but in reality, the situation hasn't resolved yet. But, I will take a better look at that and see if there's a better way to communicate around how that's happening.
All right, thank you so much.
Mr. President. Mr. President.
It's going to be Mr. Penn and Mr. Woods.
Thank you so much for coming down, Robert. Ms. Greer stated about the first call that if someone called about a dog and then it closed if they don't see it in 10 to 15 minutes, is it a reason why we're closing it out instead of keeping it open to, like, I don't know, a certain amount of time and say, well, we couldn't find the dog in so many, days, or is it a reason why we're closing it out?
The reality there, Mr. Penn, is it's call volume. We receive 30 to 40 calls a day, and we have 4 to 5 officers on shift. So for every single call we get, if we mandate a return visit for a stray dog, it eats up a lot of our resources. I just don't think we have the manpower to every dog we don't see go back 2, 3, 4 times looking for that same dog if we don't get another call that has been seen in the area.
So the suggestion would be to the community, if it's closed, to call back if you see the dog out again.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. That's the best case scenario. And I know Ms. Greer does it frequently for us. If a citizen can take pictures of exactly where the dog was on the property from a safe place, I'm not saying go out and go through someone's backyard and take pictures. That's just putting yourself in a dangerous situation. But if you're in a place where you have a right to be and you can get a photograph of where the dog is, that better helps lead us to exactly where it may be.
Okay. And I know you're trying to figure out to make a faster solution. For situations like that, do we have like and I think one time you did, and maybe it was on that graphic, like basically suggestions to some that we can put in our newsletters, so let people know exactly the best way to fix a situation similar to what Ms. Greer talked about.
I'm actually glad you brought that up. My animal control manager just sent me a draft of a new how to report things document that once we get that finalized and pushed through our communications team, we'll be more than happy to get out to you.
All right. Thank you.
Mr. Woods.
That was kind of my question, Director Bryant, is and I guess just to point out too, so 311 request comes in, y'all on your side, your office opens up a case in another system. I mean, you're not actively managing through the 311. You're managing cases through like a case system, I guess, is what you're saying, I guess.
Yes, sir. 311 is it's more set up as a work order system, not as a animal management case system.
So even though maybe 311's closed out because responded, didn't see the animal, you're still keeping a log over in that other system of the kind of working it through that way, I guess. So just because 311's closed doesn't mean that you're not actively doing something about it, I guess. Is that
specifically when it comes to welfare cases? Yes, sir. Now, I will say generally when we close a case on a 311 call like a stray dog call, then that would represent a case closure unless obviously we have cause to reopen it.
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
I will point out that with a lot of our stray dogs, if it is, I know I told you, Mr. Penn, that we typically close those out if we can't find the dog. Now, if there's an exigent circumstance, like we know this dog is extremely underweight, or we know that this dog might be pregnant, or we know that there's some other reason, we will continue to look for that dog instead of just letting that case go. So we don't necessarily close all stray dogs unless we have an exigent circumstance.
And then my last question, because we kind of walked through this in my district before. If on the weekends, obviously 311's not open per se. The best way to, if there's really a situation, the best way to kind of to get to you guys, because again, 311's not being monitored per se during the weekend. That's, I guess, to call the non-emergency number on the police line, I guess. Is that a good way to maybe on the weekends to get some folks to look at stuff? Or
Yes, sir, absolutely. If there's an emergency animal control related issue, calling the 911 non-emergency line will generate a response.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Ingram.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, Mr. Burns, I want to thank you for the work that you've done in District 2. We know that the strategy you just talked about, like if they give you the pictures, then we have a greater success rate. I want to follow back up with Councilman Penn's suggestion. If you can give us something that we can put in our newsletter that informs them of the importance of, the pictures and how that process works, so that we can make sure that we can support them in having a more successful case. But again, thank you for the work. I've received several calls regarding the strategy where you all put out I don't know if it's called a case. I'm not sure of the terminology, but it's working. So thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Madam Clerk?
Reggie Hill.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. Before I begin, I want to congratulate Mr. Jackson Taylor as well on his recognition today. He helped tremendously with some property matters before, so it's good to see him being recognized. To the citizens and stakeholders of Mobile, greetings. Reggie Hill is my name. Like the gentleman spoke before, I'm not here to complain, but I am here to continue these pertinent conversations related to city business. Let's begin, please, with this component related to council rules. I think it's time that we review removing the Thursday sign-up. A lot of other cities allow people to sign up the day of the meeting. As well, back when the Jones administration was in place, Ms. Gregory probably remember Mr. Al Stokes, who was the chief of staff. He would actually reach out to individuals once they signed up on the Thursday, and a lot of those issues were probably taken care of before you even got down here on the Tuesday. And so we're not going to have any type of response to certain questions that might be pressing. I get that. We might need to review how we can remove that and then allow people to just come up. And then I would suggest that maybe we can allow additional communications during the committee meetings where we will have more time. Maybe that specific department, which is reflected about what they're petitioning on, you can give them more time to address what's actually going on. I also believe that someone, and this will be in what I'm presenting in the proposal, to get back to the 5 minutes. Because I think as well, if a lot of people just had that additional 120 seconds, we could probably finish a lot of the stuff that we have to say and not have to have the back and forth. Let's look, please, at this economic development component, please. I want to commend my neighbor from District 2 who requested the idea of getting some evaluations for the performance contracts. We saw on today's agenda where there's potentially going to be $60,000+ going out towards the organization for their operations. We need to be specific about those definitions because the definition says performance. So these are acts in the community, not necessarily salaries. Now, I'm not against this organization getting those resources, but I believe that it's necessary for us to do that at an equal response as well as to other organizations that might be able to make some serious input into the city of Mobile. The monthly reports component, I want to remind this body that the legislative group, the legislative branch, you are the ones who create the laws. So if there's an issue with how the annual reportings are coming up, you can create an ordinance that says it has to stick to the monthly reportings, because I think that's what's going to be most beneficial. I commend the gentleman from District 4 for bringing that up. We'll have to talk a little bit more about that later. I think there's a conflict of interest with giving all of these additional resources to the DA's office. I believe it prevents the DA from maybe challenging some of these issues that come with the city that I think Ms. Trotter is going to speak about a little later. I'm not going to have the time allotted to really get deep into the MHA component, but I am appreciative. I attended a meeting last week, and some of the efforts that are being made by people such as Commissioner Walters, I'm a little confident about what we can do, but it's going to take a lot more work together. The public safety piece will have to come back, but I think this is entirely too much money in the Gulf Coast Technology Center. I think there are some egregious acts maybe going on behind the scenes. I'd rather not put those things out in the public, but we know how the time goes. We'll have to continue this next week. Thanks for you on the floor.
Estella Trotter.
Good morning. My name is Estella Trotter. I was here last week. Of course, certain ones of us don't get additional minutes to speak. Violations of Fair Housing Act. The lack of transparency by the city of Mobile when it comes to the Fair Housing Act. I was posted on the website by the ex-terminated executive director, and I was retaliated against for testifying in code violations where the city took the housing authority to court. These violations also, what was not mentioned was I was harassed for years, discriminated against race, sex, gender, socioeconomic status. I was bullied, reported sexual harassment. I just mentioned posted false, damaging information on an official website, which I was posted, that constitutes defamation, fraud, and misconduct. You had an obligation to report this to the district attorney's office and attorney general, and you didn't do it. I read that information. So you also put me in a situation to continue to be abused. That violated my rights to the same mandated relocation process. And I didn't get that. I'm owed over $2,000 relocation money. I want my money. Because public housing authorities receive federal funding, not reporting, this action should also be reported to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development Office and Attorney General's Office. You had a fiduciary duty to do that, and it's part of the Code of Ethics. I'm not going to be able to read a lot of it. I'll be back. That's one of the main things. This is, like I said, going to have to be picked up by the district attorney's office and the attorney general. And the last thing I'm going to say, since time is so short, y'all got to start giving people more time with important things. If you could talk about the dogs and the cats, talk about the fact that a lot of Black people have been harmed, and y'all want to push that under the rug. Why is the housing authority giving the fired executive director negotiations behind closed doors nobody knows? Huh? He's done all this so-called criminal activity, then the negotiations. Is that the way you do it? Is it a payoff? Why is the housing authority still giving checks when he was fired?
Thank you.
Checks, still
Thank
giving
you.
out checks.
Jessica Walker regarding Resolution 08161.
Hi, my name is Jessica Walker. I'm here to talk about the Save Right. For 6 months now, I have been asking the DA, the Sheriff's Department, to use this technology to help me in my stalking case. They have refused, and I feel like it's being underutilized. $243,000 is an awful lot of money to spend on something that we're not fully working with. We can do more than just what they want to do. What they want to do is just the murders and the drug dealers, and great, that's all great. But that's a lot of money to not be fully utilizing this. For 6 months, I have been talking to the DA, the Sheriff's Department, and it's fallen on deaf ears. And nobody seems to be willing to use this technology that we have $243,000 to spend on to investigate my case. And I was hoping today that y'all could maybe relook at this, revisit it, or see about using this to its full potential. Everybody in this city has a right to privacy and a right to their cell phone usage without being hacked, which is what mine has been by somebody in this very city. But the DA's office has refused to look into my case. All I'm asking is that we fully utilize to the $243,000 that we got to spend on this, that we can actually do more than what they have been doing. I understand that they have never used a case like this for that technology, but it can be done because I called the Gulf Coast forensics people myself. And that's really all I got. I was just hoping we could use it to its full potential. That's a lot of money to spend in my tax dollars. Everybody in this city has a right to privacy. And that's all I got. Thank you.
David Preston regarding Resolution 01124.
My name is David Preston. I live on Winchester Drive here in Mobile. That's District 4. I'm coming before you today to urge you to approve the funding for the District Attorney's Office with an amendment. Either do a one-year allocation of the $1.1 million or approve the full $3.3 million with a renewal vote every year. And here's the reason why. I believe that the economic headwinds that are causing the state to tighten their belt and the county to tighten their belt, that's causing the district attorney to come to the city for this allocation, is coming down the track for the city as well. I understand that a $1.1 million allocation is 1/300th of the city budget, annual budget. But when you start putting $1 million here and $1 million there, or $1.5 million there, it starts to add up. And I do believe that we do need to prioritize public safety, and that the district attorney's office is an important part of public safety. But I do believe there are certain things that if we looked at the budget, that we could reallocate some of the money already in the district attorney's budget to other things. And I think a one-year time frame would be more than enough time for the city, the county, and the state legislative delegation at the county level, along with the district attorney, to sit down and not only figure out how we can reallocate money within the current budget, but also come up with a permanent, long-term funding solution for the district attorney, because I think everybody here agrees that funding for the district attorney's office is a state and county obligation. And an idea for a permanent funding solution, future funding solution, I think that should be explored within that one-year time frame, is maybe putting a penny gas tax countywide. And I think that if we did that, that we could raise the money that the district attorney is asking for on a permanent solution to solve that funding issue. And then that way the district attorney isn't coming back to the city or the county every year or every 3 years with this handout for an allocation. And so either do it, and the district attorney does have a good argument that if we don't commit to the full 3 year of funding, that he's going to start seeing resumes go out the door. So maybe commit to the $3.3 million over 3 years, but do it where you have to do a specific reauthorization vote every year. And then the political benefit to you guys to doing that is you now have 2 more votes that you can tout in your next election as promoting public safety. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mr. President.
Mr. Reynolds.
Thank you, David, for coming down. I appreciate it. We had this discussion. I'm committed to giving the 3-year contract, as you suggest, for you and the citizens of District 4, but also taking advantage of what you say, having that touch point every year over the next 3 years by getting it as an individual line item in our budget. So when our budget discussion comes up, that's when we'll take advantage of this opportunity to remind the state and everyone else of that the city of Mobile is propping up the DA's office, and that it's got to be resolved in a bigger way. So I think that's the resolution for me going forward. I mean, again, we're in a tough spot here where our DA is reaching out to us, hey, we need help in this real situation, and public safety's obviously got to remain our top priority. So I think we do as you said, precisely as you said, which is allocate the $3.3 million and then have another touch point every year for the next 3 years. So thank you for the suggestion and coming down today to advocate for that very thing.
You're welcome.
Madam Clerk.
CIP resolutions held over. 08123, approved purchase order to TRP Construction Group for road striping materials and services.
So move.
Second.
Properly moving second, in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item pass.
Resolutions held over. 01105, authorized cooperative agreement for maintenance of Range Line Road with Southwest Mobile Chamber of Commerce for the Gateway Initiative project.
So moved.
Second. Properly moving second, in discussion.
Yes, sir, Mr. President.
Mr. Reynolds.
I have an amendment to offer that just changes the geographical territory from just Range Line Road to include Range Line Road and US Highway 90 within the Gateway Initiative area.
Second.
Properly moving second, in discussion on the amendment. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Amendment passed. Back to discussion. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passed.
01106, authorized cooperative agreement for increased maintenance of Rangeline Road with the Alabama Department of Transportation for the Gateway Initiative project.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion?
Yes, sir, Mr. President.
Mr. Reynolds.
I have an amendment to offer that is precisely the same as the amendment offered on the previous item, which is just modifying the area from just Rangeline to Rangeline Road and US Highway 90 within the Gateway Initiative area.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion?
Mr. President.
Mr. Woods.
I just want to, before we vote on this is a long time coming. I mean, this is both of these items really, honestly, over 15 years. And I just want to say congratulations to Mr. Reynolds for getting across the board, across the line here, because it was a heavy pull, both for the Southwest Chamber, for Councilman Reynolds and his predecessor, and also the city. So I just want to say congratulations, and this it's a great project. That's it for me.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passed.
You got to call the original as amended.
Going back to any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passed.
01124, authorized intergovernmental agreement with Mobile County District Attorney's Office to provide funding assistance.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion?
Mr. President.
Mr. Woods.
Saved my comments. Mr. Preston's exactly right. This really is a failure on the state to properly and adequately fund our district attorney's office. Indigent defense is really outfunded. The prosecutions of crime, and I feel for our district attorney and his entire office. And again, the catch point is this is going to be every year for the next 3 years. It's going to be broken out on the budget as a reminder until the day that the state actually funds the district attorney's office at a proper amount. That will be a reminder every year of where we're at. I said in my newsletter this last week is we're the state of Alabama. We're tough on crime. We that's what we tell people. That's where we are. But the fact of the matter that we have not properly and adequately funded our district attorney offices around the state really basically just says it's good luck and God bless. So I hope to see changes. I know that in District 6 and at my next meeting in March, I will continue to beat the drum that we have to make sure that we talk to our representatives in Montgomery to properly and adequately fund the district attorney's office. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Mr. President.
Mr. Penn.
I want to join in with my colleague. I stated before that the state of Alabama should be properly funded, the DA office, and this just shows the condition of the city of Mobile from the administration and the council. Financially, we're in a place where we can provide this service, but the state should be providing. I will be writing letters. I ask and request that every citizen in the city of Mobile does the same thing. We had opportunity to bring funding to the state. A lot of times we shut those ideas down, but we need to figure it out so we can be able to fund the DA office properly. Thank you, Mr. President.
And I believe that the other opportunity that you're speaking of, Mr. Penn, is lottery and casino, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Mr. President.
Mr. Reynolds.
I think it's wise that we as a council, not on this agenda, but a later agenda, put together a resolution to send up to the state to spell out precisely, the field as we see it, where we're having to step in, sort of the shortfall that exists within the DA's office. I think we ought to probably get that on next week's agenda if we could get something created so we can pass it by way of consent.
Any other discussion?
Yes, sir, Mr. President.
Vice President.
Thank you, Mr. President. I join with my colleagues on this. You've already heard from my colleagues as to why we are in support of this. Hopefully, this will not have to continue. Hopefully, the legislature will hear what we are doing and will not continue to basically shirk their duty. We talk about being tough on crime, but unfortunately, they are not tough on getting the departments funded the way they ought to be funded, and that funding the district attorney's offices across the state is not a request du jour. It is something that is absolutely needed in order to be tough on crime, because once you get them arrested, what do you do with them? we have a lot of cases pending, very important cases in this city and county that are waiting. So we need to make sure that they are taken to trial, and the victims' families can have some closure in these as well. So I join my colleagues in approving this. We'll look at it this year, put down for a 3-year contract, but every year we can come back and look at it as a line item so that everybody knows what's going on. And if in fact you do find the funding from the state, then we won't have to give that $1 million next year or the next year, perhaps. So thank you for coming in, Keith, and all your staff for being here.
Mr. President,
Ms. Ingram.
I also join in with my colleagues, but I do want to state that I'm with Mr. Penn and that, we need a viable solution, one that does not have our DA out fundraising, but focusing on crime. So having said that, I'm in support with the resolution, but also really thinking about how we can support through advocacy and legislation in terms of a viable solution. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item pass.
01125, authorized foreign trade zone operator agreement with Austell USA LLC. 01126, authorized amendment to agreement with Meovision Technologies for emergency traffic preemption services. 08127, approved purchase order to Alamo Group Texas for mowers. 08129 and 130, approved purchase order to Dana Safety Supply for upfitting of SUVs. 08131, approved purchase order to Deere and Company for 4 tractors. 08132, approved purchase order to eBuilder for annual renewal of project management software. 08135, approved purchase order to Sansom Equipment for garbage trucks. 08137, approved purchase order to Stuns for annual renewal of Monday.com project management software. 09143, reallocate funds in Capital Improvement Fund from Capital Project Capital Improvement Reserve to Capital Project MIT Building HVAC Emergency Repairs. 13144, authorized change order number 2 with APAC Alabama for 2024 CIP resurfacing City Council District 6 and 7. 13145, authorized change order number 2 with Chris Brewer Contracting for 2024 City of Mobile annual street maintenance. 21146, authorized contract with Mobile Chamber of Commerce Foundation, Inc. for the MOGO Rideshare Program.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Resolution passes.
Ordinance is being introduced for the first time, 64005 through 64007.
Per council rules, this will lay over for 1 week.
Consent resolutions being introduced for the first time, 09149 through 6157.
Move to waive the rules for immediate consideration of these resolutions as read.
Second. Properly moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Rules waived. Madam Clerk.
09149, transfer funds from District 7 discretionary account to Mobile Tennis Center to assist with child advocacy tennis tournament. 37150, recommend approval to the ABC Board for issuance of a restaurant retail liquor license to Logan's Roadhouse on Airport Boulevard. 6151 and 152 are approving award of special bonus to the Mobile Employee of the Month and Officer of the Month. 6153 through 157 are determining appropriations to Tomanville Rattlers Youth Football Team, Inspire You, Africatown Community Development Center, and People United to Advance the Dream, serve a public purpose and approve payment.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Resolution passes.
Resolutions being introduced for the first time, 01158 through 6172.
Move to waive the rules for immediate consideration of resolutions 08-162, 08-165, 08-166, and 21-169, with the rest of these being laid over for 1 week.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Rules waived. Madam Clerk.
08162, approved purchase order to Gaines Utility Construction Company, LLC for storm drainage, vegetation, and debris removal. 08165, approved purchase order to Safe Haven Company, LLC for storm drainage, vegetation, and debris removal. 08166, approved purchase order to VDA Labs for computer network testing and reporting services. 21169, authorized contract of S3 Technologies LLC for maintenance and repair services of courtroom audiovisual technology systems.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Resolution passes.
Call for public hearings. 41173, call for public hearing to consider the application of Favor Residential Care for a certificate of public convenience and necessity to operate a shuttle service scheduled February 24th.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Public hearing is called.
Announcements. Due to Mardi Gras next Tuesday, the City Council meeting will meet on Wednesday, February the 18th.
District 4.
No announcement.
Councilman Reynolds. District 2, Councilwoman Ingram.
Thank you, Mr. President. Over the last month, I received numerous calls, texts, emails expressing thanks for the information that we printed in the newsletter in terms of the resurfacing happening in District 2. And I just want to give a special thanks to the engineer department and also to Mr. Forrester for collaborating with us, with me, so that we could get that information out to the public. So thank you for the work that you all are doing to inform and empower them in knowing what's happening. I also want to announce that on Thursday, February the 12th, District 2 will have their second virtual chat. It starts at 7 p.m. And again, this is a virtual community meeting. And then on Thursday, February the 19th at 5:30, we will have our second face-to-face community meeting, and it will be at James Seals Jr. Community Center. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Ingram. District 6, Councilman Woods.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do want to announce we have a District 6 meeting, community meeting on March the 26th at 5:30 p.m. It'd be at the Connie Hudson Senior Center, and again, in traditional District 6 community meeting. It will be an hour. I will be available. I will stay around as long as anybody wants to, but we do limit it to an hour, so we be respectful about your time, and especially the community center staff's time, or the senior center staff's time. Do also, too, I know the mayor mentioned it, but the USS Farragut coming into town, I do hope that everybody, want to encourage everybody to take really advantage of coming down for the tours. They start Saturday, they run through Thursday. Every year I take the knuckleheads down to the ship that comes in. They have a blast, and it's really cool. It does put a perspective of exactly what folks that serve our country in the Navy actually go through. So it puts that into perspective. So I definitely want everyone to take advantage of that. I know I will. Saturday morning we'll be doing that. And then also, too, it came to light, I don't know if you've seen it lately, but there's a very important issue that's going on all across downtown right now, and that's protecting the moon pie. So I do want to give a plug and a shout out to that group that's really making something fun and interesting happen for Mardi Gras. So you can check them out at protectthemoonpie.com. They're on the case of ensuring that moon pies don't get lost and stepped on. So it's I did want to bring light to them and showcase them. So it's something really cool to check out. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Woods. District 5,
No
Councilman
announcements. No announcements. Thank you.
District 1, Councilman Penn.
Thank you, Mr. President. This year we celebrate 100 years of Black History Month. We understand that Black history is American history. And so I will be sponsoring an event at the Mobile Museum of Art called Art After Dark, celebrating Black art. This is a free event. You can go to their website and sign up. It will be held Friday, February the 27th from 6 to 9 p.m. We have local artists that will have their art there, as well as they already have some exhibits that you will have an opportunity to tour. We encourage conversation, just talk about ways how we can just highlight Black history, not just in the month of February, but year round. We also will have live music. So we're inviting everyone out to come out and let's celebrate Black art. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman Penn. District 7, Vice President Gregory.
Thank you, Mr. President. Councilmember Woods, I am looking for my T-shirt and my cap. I heard about that this morning. Protect those moon pies. Don't walk on them, squish them, save them, protect them. This, this coming week, speaking of Mardi Gras, I have a couple of events in the district. At Hillsdale Recreation Center, we will have the annual parade around the rec center. It begins at 10 o'clock a.m. This is really a big event for the seniors there. So if you're in the area, drop by and see us. 10 o'clock at the Hillsdale Recreation Center. It's just off Feldhorn Drive. And then across Cody Road, beginning at 11:30, will be the Friendship Missionary Baptist Church Mardi Gras event. The theme this year is going Western. It begins at 11:30. And if you want to see some adorable little kids all dressed up in their Mardi Gras outfits, this is the place to be. So we'll be busy in the district doing Mardi Gras and, of course, all weekend long. It's a great time to be in Mobile. Let those good times keep rolling. Thank you.
And I'd like to wish everyone a very happy and safe Mardi Gras, Laissez la bonne rouler, let the good times roll. Anything from the administration?
Motion to adjourn.
Properly moving second in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting is adjourned.